Welcome to Revenge Flame. Let's jump into today's story and don't forget to turn on the bell for more. The night my wife asked me for a divorce. She didn't even look at me, just stood by the doorway with her suitcase like I was a stranger she needed to escape from. My heart didn't just break, it collapsed. I kept replaying her words in my mind. I'm not happy anymore. I need space. Space. That was the lie that shattered everything, because 3 hours later, while I sat on the kitchen floor trying to understand how 5 years of marriage could end so suddenly, a message popped up on my phone. A picture, her laughing, wrapped in the arms of a man I had never seen before. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the phone. My chest felt tight, like someone had reached inside and crushed my ribs. She hadn't asked for space. She had asked for freedom, freedom to be with him. I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw something. But instead, I went quiet. Terrifyingly quiet. Because in that moment, I stopped being the husband begging for answers. I became the man who would walk away forever. But the real twist didn't hit me until 3 weeks later, when she came back crying, begging, telling me she had made a mistake. Reaching for the door she once walked out of so confidently, but she didn't know that door wasn't hers anymore. And when I finally opened my mouth to speak, she realized this was just the beginning. Before everything fell apart, our life felt simple, peaceful, almost soft around the edges. We had a small apartment with sunlight that spilled through the kitchen window every morning, hitting the 2 coffee mugs we always left on the counter, hers pink, mine black. She'd hum while getting ready, always off-key, but somehow perfect to me. I'd kissed her forehead before leaving for work, and she'd tug at my sleeve, asking what I wanted for dinner. It became our tiny ritual, something that felt unbreakable. On weekends, we'd walk through the park holding hands like teenagers. She'd point at dogs she wanted to adopt, and I'd joke about how they'd take her side in every argument. She'd laugh, really laugh, the kind that made her eyes squint and her nose wrinkle. Everyone around us said we were that couple, the steady ones, the ones who'd last, and I believed them. I believed in her. I believed in us. There were no warning signs, no fights, no cold nights. Just little moments, shared lunches, movie marathons, sleepy good nights that made me feel safe. If someone had told me back then that she would one day walk out without hesitation, I would have laughed. Because back then, loving her felt effortless, and losing her felt impossible. It started so quietly that I almost missed it. A small shift in the way she moved around me. The first red flag wasn't dramatic. It was a feeling. A tiny ache in my chest I kept trying to ignore. One night, she came home late. Not very late, just later than usual. She blamed traffic, kissed my cheek, and rushed to shower without even taking off her shoes. Strange, but not alarming. I told myself I was overthinking. We all ignored the signs at first, then her phone changed. New password. New notifications she cleared the second they appeared. She used to leave it face up on the table. Now she kept it glued to her hand or tucked under a pillow. When I asked why, she just laughed and said, "Privacy, babe." Everyone needs some. But her voice cracked on the word privacy. She started dressing differently, too. New outfits, new makeup, new perfume that wasn't hers. Saw a sale, she said. I nodded. But something inside me tightened. Nights felt colder. Conversations shorter. She smiled less at me and more at her screen. Maybe I was crazy. Maybe I was imagining things. But deep down, a whisper kept repeating something is wrong. The clues didn't come all at once. They slipped in quietly. Like shadows moving across a room I thought I knew. She started taking her phone everywhere, even to the bathroom. I'd hear the soft buzz behind the locked door, followed by a whisper of her voice, low and careful. When I'd knock to check on her, she'd flush the toilet and pretend she'd been doing nothing but her eyes. They never met mine afterward. One evening around 11 p.m., she sat on the couch with the lights off, her face glowing from her screen. She was smiling softly, the way she used to smile at me. I walked in quietly. She jumped. Clutched the phone to her chest like it was something fragile and forbidden. "Oh, just a funny video," she said. But her voice shook and she didn't show it to me. Then came the work dinners. The sudden ones. The late ones. She'd leave the house dressed. like she was going somewhere far more exciting than a restaurant with colleagues. When she hugged me goodbye, her perfume lingered longer than usual, stronger, different, like someone else had sprayed it on her dot. Each clue tightened the knot in my stomach. Each lie felt heavier, and still part of me kept whispering down, jump to conclusions. Not yet. The night I found out the truth. It wasn't because I went digging, it was because she finally slipped. She had left her phone charging on the couch while she ran to grab something from the bedroom. It buzzed once. Then again, that the screen lit up. A name I didn't recognize. And beneath it, a preview of a message that made my blood run cold. I miss your lips already. My heart stopped. My fingers froze. For a second, I felt like the world tilted sideways. I shouldn't have picked up the phone. But something inside me shattered and my hands moved on their own. I opened the message thread. Pictures. Her smiling. Her in the dress she told me she bought for work. Her in a hotel mirror, biting her lip, posing for him. And his messages back calling her baby. Telling her he couldn't wait for their next night together. My vision blurred. My chest tightened until it hurt to breathe. I could hear my pulse pounding in my ears, drowning out every sound in the room. The house felt suddenly unfamiliar, hollow, like I was standing inside someone else's life. When she walked back in and saw my face, she didn't have to ask what happened. Her smile faded. Her eyes widened. And in that moment, I stopped being her husband. I didn't wait for the right moment. There was no right moment for something like this. She walked into the living room, and I was already sitting there, her phone on the table between us like a loaded gun. Sit, I said. My voice didn't sound like mine. It was calm. To calm? Her eyes flicked to the phone, then to me. And suddenly, all the color drained from her face. Who is he? 2 words? Heavy enough to crack the floor beneath us. She opened her mouth, then closed it. No excuses. No lies. Just a trembling breath and the kind of silence that screams the truth. Her shoulders slumped. Her hands shook. And when she finally whispered, "I'm sorry," it didn't sound like regret. It sounded like defeat. Like she knew the version of me who once loved her so fiercely was gone. After the confrontation, the house went quiet. Too quiet. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. I just stood up, walked to the bedroom, and started packing my things. She followed me, crying, grabbing my arm, whispering promises she should have made months ago. But her tears didn't move me. Her words didn't reach me. I cried for 2 days straight. Then I didn't cry at all. Somewhere in the silence, something inside me shifted. I realized I wasn't losing her. I was letting go of someone who had already let go of me. I lost my wife. But I found my self-respect. Looking back, I realized something I wish someone had told me years ago. Love isn't proven by how long someone stays, but by how they treat you while they're there. We spend so much time trying to fix people who already broke us, convincing ourselves that betrayal is a mistake, not a choice. But it is a choice. Every message, every lie, every night spent in someone else's arms. I kept asking myself what I did wrong. When the truth was simple, I wasn't the one who failed us sometimes. The universe removes people from your life because they were never meant to stay. And sometimes, the person you think you can't live without becomes the reason you learn how strong you really are. Healing didn't come fast, but it came quietly, steadily. And it taught me this: when someone walks out, don't chase. Your peace is worth more than their return. What would you have done if you were standing in my place, holding the truth that broke everything? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, your stories, your strength. And if this journey hit you in the heart, don't forget to follow 4 more real emotional stories like this one. Your support helps these voices be heard. Remember this: trust is fragile. Loyalty is a choice. And sometimes the hardest goodbye becomes your greatest beginning. Stay strong, stay aware, and protect your peace.